Hey guys, welcome to another video. Today I'm going to be going through things that I did to grow my arms. Now in this video I'm going to be giving advice and tips that you could also use in your training to grow your arms and hopefully have the same effect I did. I started training, my arms were roughly probably 12 to 13 inches when I first started training, quite skinny. And a couple of years of training got to about 15 inches, and then I wanted them to get bigger, so I kind of changed my training up specifically for arm training quite a bit, and that resulted in them getting to around 17 inches where they are now. So I'm hoping the tips and advice in this video might help you. If you like the video, please like, subscribe, all that good stuff, and let's get into it. Now, the first thing that I did to improve my arm gains was implement a specific arm day within my training. Now, most people, when they're training, they do either push-pull legs, upper lower split, and they kind of throw arms into the split as an afterthought. They might do chest and then do a bit of triceps at the end when they're already tired and they can't really be bothered, or they'll do back and then they'll do a bit of biceps at the end when they can't really be bothered. Now, I noticed that putting a specific arm day where I just smash biceps and triceps and forearms, which I actually like training forearms, but obviously most people when they train arms they don't think about forearms, but that's just me personally. So implementing an actual arm day where you're smashing arms, specifically biceps and triceps through different exercises, is a very good starting point if you want to grow your arms. Now, the second thing I'm going to mention is prioritizing triceps specifically in your workouts. Now, by this I don't mean just do triceps or do one bicep exercise and then 5 tricep exercises. I don't mean that at all. What I mean is, obviously your triceps make up a third of your arm. So if you want your arms to get bigger, a lot of people focus on the biceps because that's the main muscle that they hit when they do front double bicep and all that, and that's the one everyone sees, and they think the bicep is their arm muscle. However, like I just said, your tricep makes up a third of your arm's overall size, so you need to be hitting your triceps to be able to make your arms grow to the maximum potential that they can. Now, with that being said, this goes into another point of how you are going to specifically train your biceps and your triceps. You don't need to be, but it will be a very beneficial and the best thing for you to do to grow your arms as much as you can, to focus on stretch-focused hypertrophy. Now, what I mean by this is doing any movements where you're putting your triceps or your biceps under the most tension in a stretched position to be able to fully grow. Now, training in a stretched position on certain muscle groups, most muscle groups, is going to lead to a lot more gains and lead them to trigger growth a lot better, such as your lats, your chest, all these muscle groups train very well and have a very good stimulus to grow when you're in a stretched position. So, for example, to train your triceps, you want to be doing overhead stuff to bias that long head, stretch the long head. So overhead, extensions, stuff like that. Your biceps, you've got your incline curls. Anything where you're putting the targeted muscle in a stretched position is going to benefit you massively in terms of muscle growth. Now, my next point is going to be implementing fewer variations into your training. A lot of people think more variations means more growth. However, that's not the case. You do not need to be going in training arms, doing normal bicep curls, dumbbell bicep curls, then going into incline curls, then going into preacher curls, then going into hammer curls, then going into preacher curls on a machine as well as dumbbells, and then going on to cables and doing hammer curls with a rope on cables. You do not need to be doing all that stuff. Same for your triceps. You should probably do 2 exercises for each muscle group just to maximize that arm growth you're going to get. And this will also give you the best opportunity to let them grow and not fatigue yourself. You're not doing too much to the point where you're half-assing it. You want to go all out on at least 2 exercises. Now, what I do personally is for my biceps, I'll do maybe a stretch-focused exercise and a contraction-focused exercise. So stretch-focused would be an incline curl, and then your contraction focused would be something like a preacher curl. So with those 2 movements, obviously even with your preacher curl, you're still trying to get a good stretch throughout the movement. But with those two variations, you're getting all your muscle fibers torn, and each full range of motion is being worked throughout the biceps. Now for your triceps, I would do an overhead variation, for example, overhead extension, skull crushers, something like that, where you're getting that elbow up by your head and you're extending the arm to fully bias that long head and get a good full stretch on your triceps. And then I will probably implement as well a good exercise such as classic cable pushdowns, something like that as well. Now, with that being said, all these exercises I've just mentioned, what you need to do is find an exercise or exercises that are tailored to you and you enjoy doing. You shouldn't really be doing exercises in hopes that your arms are going to grow if you do not really enjoy doing those exercises and those exercises aren't really good for your anatomy and it doesn't feel right. You need to be going through loads of different exercises, pick the best one you want to do, and then hammer that one. And now from time to time you can switch exercises, do different ones, implement new ones, stuff like that. However, you are going to train the best on an exercise where you feel comfortable and you enjoy it the most. The exercises you enjoy the most are the ones where you're most likely to go beyond failure, do as hard as you can. And obviously, if it's comfortable as well, it feels comfortable, you're more likely to be going to or close to failure on those exercises. So picking exercises that you enjoy doing over exercises that someone said you need to do to grow your arms. And with that being said, you need to make sure that the exercises you are doing are still good exercises. You don't want to be doing an exercise that you like that isn't really good for stimulus and growth. For example, a lot of people slate tricep kickbacks. They haven't got that much good range of motion. They're really good tension at the top of the movement when you're getting a good squeeze. However, you're not getting a full range of motion. Now, for an exercise like that, you might enjoy doing that exercise loads. However, there's a lot more exercises which are going to be better for muscle growth. So you should pick one that you like doing and you enjoy doing and that feels comfortable, but should also be a good exercise to make your arms grow. Now, getting to my next point, I mentioned going close or near to failure. This is another point. You need to be going and training hard and going near or close to or past failure during your exercises, especially arms. Your arms are quite a small muscle group, your biceps and your triceps. So you do not want to be half-arsing it and going 2 or 3 reps shy of failure. On exercises like your squats and your bench press, you can be doing, because it's quite a big muscle group, and going close to failure is still going to stimulate muscle growth. However, with your arms, that's small of a muscle group. You kind of need to be hammering them and going all the way to failure to make sure they are going to grow. Recovery wise, because they're a small muscle group, they're also going to take a lot less time to recover than other muscle groups, bigger muscle groups. So with that as well, you can hammer them and then still expect them to be completely fine, ready to train again within the next 1 or 2 days after. So yeah, you need to be training hard, training close to or to failure to make sure they are going to grow. Don't be half-assing your arm workouts. My last point is going to be focusing on eccentric training. Now, I kind of already have mentioned stretched focus training with your biceps and your triceps, and the way you're focusing on the stretch and making sure you're getting a good stretch on the muscles when you're training. However, you also need to be making sure you're focusing on the eccentric movement. You want to have a good 2 to maybe 3 seconds, and depending on the exercise, negative down, making sure you're keeping that tension on the muscle. The eccentric portion of the movement is where your muscle's the strongest, and you can put a load of stress on that muscle and still control the weight down nice and slow. Now, a lot of people focus on the contraction. They come up, for example, bicep curls come up, they squeeze at the top, and then they just lower the weight down fast back to the starting position. What you should be doing is squeezing at the top still, but then you're lowering it back down nice and slow, keeping that tension on the muscle, having a good 2 seconds stretch, leading that eccentric movement all the way down, forcing that muscle to stretch and tear, and then at the bottom you're getting a full stretch and holding that stretch for a slight 2 seconds and then repeating. So all these things I've just mentioned are what I personally did to help grow my arms. Now I hope some of them will work for you too. If there's anything in the video that you didn't quite understand or any questions you want to ask, you can leave them in the comments. Please like, subscribe. I hope you enjoyed the video and thanks for watching.